Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, this is going to be today's topic video. This is going to be for the 6th of July. And let's go ahead and take a look and see what is our message. We have got card 35, and we have somebody who is, she kind of removed herself from everything. Her little bonsai tree seems to have no leaves left on it. We see the bubbles floating away. We see the wind rushing around her. It kind of feels a little forlorn. She's the only one sitting out here on this perch. This feels, and her mask has fallen off, and she's got this book that she's holding. All of this speaks of someone who's, I don't know that I think she's fallen asleep here. I think it's somebody who feels like some of their dreams have drifted away, and there's a loneliness on this one. Now, let's ask, why is our character feeling that way at all? Because this feels a little bit like, I don't know, like they got really real with themselves. They're not trying to, dazzle. It could be, though, that when somebody comes home and they're no longer in the public eye or something, and they take off their mask, they kind of are feeling a little bit drained. Some of the pizzazz goes out, and it's like, oh man, it takes a lot of energy to keep up the persona, Ace of Pentacles. What's weird is that to have this kind of energy of like sorrow or melancholy, and yet we have this Ace of Pentacles. This is a new beginning. So the sorrow or the melancholy shouldn't really be there, because an Ace of Pentacles shows us that there's all of this, like it's a new beginning. Page of Swords. It's time for her to actually, maybe it is time for her to give up a persona. Maybe that's what this is. She's exhausted from something. She or he, doesn't matter, is exhausted from a particular like lifestyle persona. The thrill is kind of gone, and they're actually energetically, like they're ready to do something different anyway. But what is new is already like being handed to them, and I don't think they've realized it yet. This feels like, oh, that song by Don Henley, "This is the last worthless evening that you'll have to spend." That song is in my head. I kind of think she hasn't realized that she's a little soul sick over something, or he, a little bit done with something, and it's like, that's okay. The universe heard it. They know that. Yeah. Three of Swords, Six of Pentacles in the reverse. Sorry, I got to cover up part of that Three of Swords. Oh, and I'm sorry. I didn't even realize there was a, well, I have to cover this one too. I didn't know there was a third card here. Heartbreak over things that don't work out, things that are only, transient. They pop into one's life and back out again, especially in the realm of romance. This is what she's like, I'm so sick. I just can't do any more of this. And the universe is like, we heard you. She doesn't realize that things are about to change. This is somebody who maybe has had some very unsatisfying like relationships that weren't lasting. Somebody who's had, I don't know, it's almost like, if they're used to meeting somebody when they're, say at work or something, that's the persona people know them as, but they're kind of tired of playing up this persona. They're tired of attracting people that aren't really the ones that they want. They're tired of relationships that don't last. They're tired of pretending that they're not soul sick with the kind of like flimsy, superficial. They're just tired of all of it. And what they haven't realized yet is it's already changing for them. We have the World and we have the Two of Swords. I gotta say, there is somebody else somewhere, maybe halfway across the world, that feels the exact same way that she does. Somebody that is thinking about her possibly right now. This could be a Capricorn. This could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Somebody who feels the exact same way. They're so done with superficial things. They're done with things that they really don't even enjoy. They're done being dissatisfied. We have the Hierophant. Either both of these characters are realizing, what I really want is, I want a marriage partner. I want somebody that I can count on. I want a relationship I could rely on. I want something real and true. Or they're listening to their higher selves, as their higher selves are saying, We heard you. You said that your soul is done with things that aren't really you. You're done having to play roles. You're done having to feel brokenhearted because you're in superficial situations and you're not a superficial person. So you know that you're ready for the change, and the change is actually already here. That there is, this could be that someone's entire life is going to change too. Like as they became soul sick, having the same old situation play out in their life, they could be ushering in this new era, and it's going to change everything. It could change where they live, how they work, what they do for a living, what their belief systems are, what partnership they're in. Ace of Cups, Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. It is ushering in a time of much greater love, much greater self love, and it's less about money. Money is probably not going to be the thing that makes our character happy, and they know it. They've already experienced that. This is a time for emotional satisfaction primarily. Okay, so hang on, because if all of this is coming in on the 6th, we have a character who's just kind of over it. They're just kind of over the things that don't make them genuinely happy. And all of this is being let go. I've got to ask, are they moving? Is this all about one person, or is this about another person showing up in their life? Because that Ace of Cups makes me think it's all about one person loving themselves more, altering the things that they need to alter in life. Nine of Cups is in the reverse. It is not. It's about two different characters. Someone is thinking about them and they are miserable. And it's same thing. Money holds no allure. This is okay, so it could be an earth energy who is slowly making their way back toward our lead character. Our lead character, I mean, we have a little bit of everything as far as like zodiacs. We do have a lot of earth for this character though too, because we do have Hierophant and we had Capricorn there as majors. Tell me about this person who's kind of soul sick at the same time and headed toward our earth character. Life force energy. They could be an earth energy too, but they are drawn toward our character because it's almost like their soul is hungry for this companionship, this something very serious, somebody very real, somebody they can rely on and count on. Synchronicity and Three of Pentacles. These two could be being brought together partially by the divine within themselves. But the divine could also kind of like expedite this. The big thing is we had to have our characters get to the point where they were soul sick with the way things were. Otherwise, this change would not be happening. You know, when characters are done with something, when they want the change, that's when the change occurs. I see them going to be able to work together really, really well. I see the synchronicity. I see that they are, it could be chance almost that they're going to be traveling back into the area where this character, our lead character, lives. You know, she may live someplace and they are going to be, or he is going to be traveling into her life, but they both have thought about each other. So it kind of feels like maybe these two always wondered what could have been or would have been if we had made a life together, but for whatever reason they couldn't. And now it's like, I haven't met anybody that I thought was really real, and I want something really real. And now my thoughts turn to them, you know, and vice versa. And it happens to be that they are headed back into her world, it seems like. Four of Wands. Both of these characters want something so stable and so true. Again, no superficial. It always feels empty and hollow. I want something real. Both of them are ready, I think, for long-term commitment and even marriage. Why did they not already have this with each other in the past if they knew each other? The world, it wasn't the right time. They had to transform a lot. They had to, you know, spread their wings, go across the world, go do other things, learn some stuff, become the people they are today. They basically, I mean, maybe both of them, look at this, the Awakening, that is the Judgment card, that is a reconciliation card. There is, you know, like we had to let each other go in order to then transform, in order to then choose to come back together. So this is one of those storylines where it starts out like a negative, but it turns out not to be negative at all. These characters absolutely had to part ways for a while. Look at the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse and the Moon upright. In the subconscious energy, I don't know that either one of them was really ready for a long-term commitment. I think maybe both of these characters sought flashier, more fun kind of lifestyles. Um, and they're only just now really ready for the long-term loyalty connections. Maybe they were both more career oriented and less likely to want to pour their energy into building a relationship. And now it's like career is not the primary focus. Now they want long-term stability in a relationship. I think even if they didn't admit it to themselves in the past, I think both of them were very much equal in they weren't really ready in the past when they knew each other. Five of Pentacles, they were chasing down personal fulfillment, not realizing that some of the personal fulfillment was going to come from sharing abundance with another individual that they could really love and rely on and count on. So, yeah, it had to get to that point. It's Seven of Pentacles. Again, the passage of time, the growth, that's what was so important. Are these two going to be even surprised when they reconnect? Because this almost feels like something that has been very serendipitously being aligned for the two of them for quite a while. Are they going to be at all surprised? Because it looked like he was going to be in her area. The Chariot, no, they're actually intentionally coming toward her. Page of Cups, Five of Cups, Three of Cups. I think if there's any surprise, there could be a smidge on her side, only because it feels like they are showing up in her world at a time where we saw that in the beginning. There's some melancholy on her part. She's the one who's a little bit soul sick. She wants some change in her life, and they are showing up, and they are that change. Again, she was associated with the mask. This time around, they're both taking off their masks. This time around, he's, I think, more sure and he's not disappointed by what life has been. He's just so sure that he's ready for something more serious, something that would be a big change. And they're ready to like move and travel to be in her world. I think they're the ones coming in with the offer, but I feel as if the day that they show up in her world, she's actually kind of sad. She's feeling like, God, I need something to change. And it's them that shows up, and that is the change. It's like, oh my God, this was the real and the true that I've been hungry for, because I'm tired of the superficial. Yeah, I think that these two, they're ready for a long-term relationship. That's what the bottom line is. They could be a water sign. We have a Three of Wands. We have the Six of Cups. These two were going to have their ships come in and be ready for a union, a soulmate reunion, when they had gone out into the world and kind of exhausted the avenues that they had to first explore. This was one of those relationships that couldn't have come together until now, because neither one of them was ready for it until this point in time. And they really had to, she in particular, had to get to the point where she was, I don't want to say soul sick, but she had to get to that point. But she definitely had to get to an energy where she wanted long-term connection, and I don't believe she did before. I maybe she thought she did, but I think she was always more about career path and everything, and not really putting love on the forefront. She's much more likely now to want to connect in relationships than I think she was in the past. So just different priorities is what it looks like needed to happen for this duo to ever be able to come into a union. So really nice to see that change. All right, you guys, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Bye, guys.